Sit back and throw one back with your pinky in the air and a middle finger to the world, and join me, the eclectic gentleman Stephen Watts, as we look back on this day in pro wrestling history. But before we do, put that drink down, like, share, and subscribe, and without further ado, let's get our wrestling history on. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is May 2nd, and we're going to start off as we always do on a positive note. That's right, these are your pro wrestling birthdays. 1932, longtime NWA Mid-American Champion, Don Fields. 1950, Randy Colley, Moondog Rex. 1951, Japanese legend, Mr. Pogo. 1961, Ray Traylor, a.k.a. Big Boss Man, a.k.a. Big Bubba Rogers. 1972, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Of course, on the flip side of that coin, your pro wrestling deaths for May 2nd. 2006, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's namesake, Sam Steamboat. Alright, enough of the sad stuff. It's time to get to the meat and potatoes. That's right, these are your pro wrestling history highlights for May 2nd. Jumping in the Wayback Machine and going to 1964, Worldwide Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Champion Bruno Sammartino defeats Boris Malenko in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Staying in 1964, Mad Dog Vachon beats Verne Gagne for the AWA World Heavyweight title. 1965, Bill Miller defeats WWF World Heavyweight Champion Bruno Sammartino via disqualification at a TV taping in Washington, D.C. According to newspaper reports, Miller petitioned the WWF to be awarded the title, but the organization stated that it was a non-title match. 1969, Worldwide Wrestling Federation World Champion Bruno Sammartino defeated George Steele by a referee's decision when Steele was injured and deemed too bloody to continue after Killer Kowalski interfered in the contest. 1979, an often forgotten WWF title, the WWF North American Champion Ted DiBiase fought Greg Valentine to a draw. Grabbing our boomboxes and going to the 80s, 1982, Buzz Sawyer defeats Tommy Rich for the Georgia National Heavyweight title in Atlanta, Georgia, ending Rich's third title reign. 1983, Tony Atlas defeats NWA World Champion Ric Flair via disqualification at a Georgia Championship Wrestling event in Beckley, West Virginia. Staying in 1983, WWF World Champion Bob Backlund pinned WWF Intercontinental Champion Don Muraco in a non-title match. 1985, National Heavyweight Champion Ron Garvin defeats NWA TV Champion Tully Blanchard via disqualification. 1986, Ricky Morton fought NWA World Champion Ric Flair to a 60-minute draw. 1987, Curt Hennig defeats Nick Bockwinkel for the AWA World Heavyweight title in San Francisco, California, after Larry Zbyszko handed him a roll of quarters to knock him out with. It would go on to be the only world title that Hennig would ever have. Grabbing our flannels and going to the decade of grunge, 1994, Larry Zbyszko defeats Lord Steven Regal for the WCW television title in Atlanta, Georgia. This was part of a storyline where Zbyszko, who was a heel announcer, got tired of Regal bashing the United States. Zbyszko came out of retirement, defeated Regal in a non-title match, then beat him again to win the belt. Staying in 1994, Jake Roberts defeats Dirty White Boy Tony Anthony for the Smoky Mountain Wrestling Heavyweight title in Harem, Tennessee, as part of a TV taping. This ended Anthony's second reign. Roberts would promptly disappear from the promotion when he began no-showing events, with Anthony regaining the belt in a phantom title change. And making one last stop in 1994, Doug Gilbert defeats Brian Christopher for the USWA Southern Heavyweight title in Memphis, Tennessee, ending Christopher's 12th reign with the title and beginning Gilbert's third. Ironically, on the same show, Christopher teamed with Doug's brother Eddie Gilbert to lose the USWA Tag Team titles to the Eliminators. 1996, Dean Malenko defeats Shinjaro Otani to capture the WCW Cruiserweight title. And last but not least, 1998, Chris Benoit defeats Booker T for the WCW television title in Charleston, South Carolina. This was the third of 5 days in a row that the television title changed hands, with 4 of those changes being between Benoit and Booker T. Those were your short but sweet pro wrestling history highlights for May 2nd. I'm the eclectic gentleman Stephen Watts, and we'll see you tomorrow.